Well, I had another video planned for today, but instead I am going to bump that video till Friday because I am a little hot under the collar again after the announcement that was just sent out by the BCREA. And as a result, I did a bunch of Googling and found out that yes, indeed, the cooling off period that has previously been announced by the BC government appears to be illegal. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a rant as I go through this article. But before I do that, I would love to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you would like to stay up to date on Surrey and Fraser Valley real estate or provincial real estate, because the cooling off period is going to go all across BC, not just in the hot real estate market here in the Lower Mainland. And of course, and as always, if you learn anything here today or you appreciate this type of information, please remember to click the like button to help me get this information out to even more people through the YouTube algorithm. And of course, if you're looking to purchase a property here in my marketplace of Surrey, BC, you can download my Informed Buyer's Guide right now down below in the description. And if you don't have enough information in that free download, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description with just a few simple clicks at a time that works best for you. And with that out of the way, I am, like I said, a little steamy here today. I'm going to pop into this article. So actually, I'm going to tell you this. It's going to be a bit of a rant, not a lot of cuts in this one. Sorry, guys. I got an email from the BCREA who made a comment about the announcement that was made on a previous announcement. That previous announcement was a cooling off period. So just so you understand, on I think it was November 6th-ish, I was actually at a Leafs game in Toronto, I believe, when I found out that this was going on. BC announced that they will bring in a cooling off period or a rescission right period for a buyer in all residential real estate across the province. So what this means is, in the event that you wanted to buy a property from me, you could make the offer, and at no point in time would you ever have to go through with that offer, and me as the homeowner would just have to take it. And if you decided to go through with the offer, you could, and if you decided not to, I'm the homeowner, I'm screwed. So basically what this breaks down to is the fact that they are taking away homeowners' rights to sell their property given the market conditions. Now, I understand the market conditions are not in favor, or up until about this month, have not been in favor for the last 6 months of buyers. Previous to that, last July, there was a situation where buyers were in the driver's seat. Previous to that, it went back to the sellers. 2018 to end of 2019, back to the buyers. So what I'm mostly steamed about is the fact that this legislation is brought in for market condition in order to try and protect the buyers from other members of the public. Now, the reason that this currently is in place with pre-sale properties, is that pre-sale properties are being sold by developers. Developers have lots of stock, they have lots of advertising, they can sell to multiple different people. However, if you are a homeowner, you only own your current property, and if something goes wrong in that transaction, that's going to cause you probably some sort of financial harm or other things that could happen. So favoring one member of the public over another member of the public is something that I am personally not a fan of, but the NDP appears to be. So let's get into this article, and I'm going to show you more about it. Okay, so this is from the CBC. This is dated just yesterday, March 28th. This is coming out on the 30th. Sorry, a little bit behind. Titled, Province Introduces Legislation Intended to Protect Home Buyers in Hot Real Estate Market. The cooling off period. They always name these things nicely for their benefit. Cooling off. It's too hot. But anyway, basically it's the removal of your right to make an unconditional offer or receive an unconditional offer. Now that's kind of the key. I'm not allowed to receive now a unconditional offer from a buyer, meaning I now have to give them the right to walk away should they want to. Now, the British Columbia government says people buying homes in this province hot real estate market could soon be protected by a cooling off period, giving them time to back out of the agreement. All of you people owning homes right now should be extremely angry at this, because you don't also get the right to back out of the agreement. But let's keep going. And the part I want to get into most of all, and what made me so hot about this, because I already knew that this was coming, but the part that made me hot about it was this here. Finance Minister Selena Robinson says the Property Law Amendment Act introduced in the legislature today will help build the framework for the protection period for home buyers to properly assess, finance, and inspection the way the home. In other words, we're going to give the buyers time to do their due diligence, which I think is a very, very good thing. However, restricting my ability to sell my property is not. Now, here's the part I want to point out. The Property Law Amendment Act. What was noted by the BCREA's amazing email that went out to all of its members was the fact that the Property Act, in order for this to be legal, has to be amended. So here's what I gain from what I've heard here. The BC government has now made their announcement that they're bringing in the cooling off period. Then in their research to find out how to, or if they can bring in the cooling off period, they have likely discovered that the cooling off period, according to the Property Law Act, is illegal. So in other words, they can't tell you as a homeowner currently under the laws that exist today that you can't sell your property unconditional to someone else. So what they have to do is they actually now have to go and change the Property Law Act, or how you own property as a homeowner in BC, in order to bring in what is their currently illegal legislation. So what I'm saying here is they are taking away your rights as a property owner in order to benefit future property purchasers and them buying your property from you. So let's dive back into it here, because I do want to cover the rest of the article, because there was some interesting things that were brought up. Robinson says the length of the cooling off period and potential financial costs of leaving a purchase agreement have yet to be determined. This is probably the first and only smart part of this whole thing that's been brought up here, which is, if you're going to leave an agreement, is there recourse to you? So first of all, we don't know. Is it 3 days? Is it 5 days? Is it 7 days? Is it 14 days? We have no idea. They have made no determination as a government whether or not it's going to be a week or 5 business days or what. We have no idea. However, and potential financial costs of leaving the purchase agreement. I am actually very much in favor of this cooling off period. Should there be some sort of compensation to the seller should you walk away? And it's not because I want to get my clients paid more money, or I as a property owner need to get paid more money to accept your offer. What it is identifying here is the fact that if you have a fee to place an offer on a property, that will stop the frivolous offers. So the problem with this whole cooling off period that will really affect you as a homeowner is, what if there are, and they will do it because in buyers markets they already do it, what if buyers go around and just spatter offers around? What if they offer on 5 or 10 properties at a time? There's nothing to say that they can't walk away from all of those properties. And if you think for any reason that that is not happening or not going to happen, you are wrong, and you are uninformed in the process. So that for sure will happen. I do very much like the idea of having some sort of financial cost, because let's say, for instance, you make an offer on a property and it gets accepted. If you have to pay $1,000 to have that property accepted for 7 days, now you're probably not going to go offer on 5 or 10 properties, because even the savviest, especially the savviest investors or property speculators, are not going to waste $1,000 per offer. Now, I'm sure the comments will say, well, it's only $1,000 per offer and they could make $50,000 off of this. Yeah, they could. However, that's a heck of a lot of a gamble. So I would love to see some sort of financial cost to leave the transaction come into play. That would actually make it then good for the buyer and good for the seller, or have some sort of compensation for the seller for their time being wasted by the buyer. So I really, really actually like that. Now, it does say is there a potential financial cost? They're not saying there is a financial cost. So let's keep going here. Real estate experts say the government's cooling off period will not ease housing affordability. That is true. And I'm going to go even further to say that Professor Somerville at UBC's Sauder School of Business says that the legislation would give buyers more time to do their due diligence, but may also allow purchasers to make offers without consequences, which is the concern that I have as a real estate agent and as a property owner, putting the seller at a disadvantage. So again, the comments are likely going to say, well, sellers have all the money and I'm a poor purchaser. Yeah, but guess what? You don't have to own property. And if you do own property, no one should be able to tell you what you can do with it or not. So that's my belief anyway. This legislation is saying that the buyers should have power over top of you as the property owner. Am I a little bit biased here? I think I am. Somerville goes on to say that you've got to have it set up in a way that there's a sufficient money stake if somebody backs out of all these deals, because again, I do think they will be backing out of these deals. And then, of course, the same professor goes on to elaborate that, hey guys, this isn't going to fix housing affordability. It may help consumer protection so buyers have a little bit more time or comfort level to pursue the property that they're offering on. However, this is not intended, and the government actually agrees that this is not going to change housing affordability at all. And my opinion has always been that this will actually make house prices go up, because if I can't compete on unconditional offers. For instance, just this week, I had an unconditional offer that again took the property and for a much lower price than previous listings had sold for, but it took that property because the owner was saying there's value in knowing that the deal is done today, so I'm going to take a lower price. And then obviously the next comment, it elaborates on that, which is that if you're trying to address affordability, guys, this ain't it. It goes on to the BCREA's announcement or their ideas of what they think should be done instead of this. And if you missed it, here's a video right now that you can check out of mine where I actually already addressed what the BCREA said about this. So we're going to skip past that just a little bit. And then it says that Robinson is also looking into the possibilities of mandatory home inspections. So that would be likely a cost to you, the buyer, that you may or may not choose to take on, but the government is going to nanny state you into doing a home inspection should you have the ability to do one or not. And of course, closed bids, they want to open it up so all the other buyers get to know exactly what your buyer offer is and vice versa, which again, changes us from being a closed bidding system right now to an open public auction. So yes, indeed, it does appear that the BC government has now finally realized that their cooling off period is not actually legal. And if they have their way, we are going to go to a public auction, of which after the buyer is successful at that public auction, the buyer will be able to walk away with little or no consequences. I apologize for the rant. I am anti-government stepping in on my property. Let me know what you think about the same topic down below in the comments. Remember, if you need my help either buying or selling in the Surrey market, you can book a call with me right now down below in the description. Please remember to subscribe and hit the like button on each one of these videos that you find value in. Check out another video before you go, and we'll see you in a couple of days.